Hello, good evening and welcome to All About Sport. I'm Louise O'Reilly. On tonight's show we'll be looking at some footage in relation to the Cavan Senior Football Championship that will be taking place this weekend, and also I'll be speaking to Jonathan Hancock, who will be speaking to us about the Castle run that is taking place in 2 weeks in Castle Saunderson Estate. So Cavan manager Terry Hyland has announced his starting 15 for Sunday's Ulster Senior Football Championship opener against Armagh on Sunday at 2 p.m. Hyland has handed senior championship starts to two debutants, namely goalkeeper Conor Gilsonan from the Ballybor Shamrocks and the club, and sharpshooter Martin Dunn from the Cavan Gaels club. Gilsonan has been netminder for the successful under-21 side, who recorded Cavan's third successive Ulster title in as many years, only to be defeated by the narrowest of margins in the All-Ireland semi-final by Cork. Dunn was top scorer in the league, amassing 319 for the Breffni county, despite missing a number of games following a suspension during Cavan's victory over Monaghan in the Alliance NFL. So check out some of these videos that are coming up, some interviews. So Cavan will line out 1 to 15 as follows: Conor Gilsonan for Ballybor Shamrocks, Jason McLaughlin for the Shannon Gaels, Rory Dunn for Red Hills, Killian Clark for Shercock, James McEnroe for Rammer United, Alan Clark for Kingscourt, who is the captain, Ronan Flanagan for Castlerahan, Damien O'Reilly for Bulturbet, David Givney, Mount Nugent, Cian Mackey, Castlerahan, Jack Brady, Rammer United, Fergal Flanagan, Butler's Bridge, Niall McDermott, Ballinya, Martin Dunn, Cavan Gaels, and Eugene Keating, St Sylvester's. So I have the Cavan captain, an interview with the Cavan captain pre-championship this weekend, so check this out.
Best set of supporters without doubt anywhere in Ireland, so you want to put in a performance for them against Armagh.
Yeah, we definitely want to put in a big performance. They'll get behind us. They have seen we've pushed on a bit in the league. We have improved considerably from last year. We're not coming out on the back of a big defeat. We've been thereabouts in all the games we played this year, and they will be a big following next Sunday. And
you've had huge support even in away games in the league this year.
Yeah, I suppose when things start going well, it'll snowball effect. You'll get a few more supporters each game. I suppose the two local derbies, beating Monaghan and Meath, there were always going to be big crowds just to see what would happen. The fact that we won both of them, I suppose a lot of supporters came along and see hopefully we get promoted. Unfortunately it didn't happen.
There was a little bit of a disappointment in that both of them got to the league final and you after beating both of them.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I actually went to the league final and I suppose it was great for Monaghan to win it, and the fact that we had beaten them, yeah, it was very disappointing, but I suppose they deserved it in the end, you know.
I suppose living in Kingscourt, you have Monaghan one side, you have Meath the other, so what's the banter like?
It's great to keep them quiet, to be honest with you. Now, I have a lot of relations in Meath, and it was great. I suppose they had the last laugh getting the league final, getting promoted, but still the bragging rights were there.
What does it mean to you to captain the Cavan team in the Ulster Championship? I've seen it as
I suppose it's a great achievement. I don't really get too caught up in the captaincy. I just want to put in a good performance next Sunday, the same as any other lad out in the field. It's a big honour. It's good for my club, it's good for, I suppose, the family and that, but I just want to play football.
And I suppose it's an enhancement of how the players and management feel about you, giving you the honour of captaining your team.
Yeah, well listen, it goes back to the football at the end of the day. It is a great honour. The management have a bit of fate, but the likes of Cian Mackey and lads like that will step up to the plate. There's no issue there, you know.
And looking at the game itself, it'll be a 20-man game for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We have a strong panel there. I suppose the first thing is get on the team, the second thing is get on the panel for the day, and we know that we have plenty of subs that we can bring in at any stage. You know, there's no one, we don't rely on one particular man, you know.
Armagh will be tough, but the tougher they are, the bigger the fall.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, but again, we'll worry with ourselves and we'll get ourselves right, and if we go in the right frame of mind, we've a great chance.
Well, Alan, we wish you well.
Thanks very much.
Alan, best set of supporters without doubt anywhere in Ireland. So
Thank you very much, Owen McConnell, for that interview. And we're going to go to an interview now with Terry Hyland, Senior Football Manager for Cavan. That will be right with us in just 1 second. So just want to thank Owen McConnon for the coverage at Breffni Park, and we really wish Cavan senior football team the very best this weekend, and we really hope that they can get a very good win for us. I think we'll have that video coming just in one moment.
Well, that's true as always, and as I said before, the first round of the championship is everybody geared towards the time of the year. The long evenings, the green grass and the sun on your back.
Looking at the league campaign, it was up and down maybe, but you went into the last round of matches with the possible chance of getting promotion.
Well, that's true. I suppose we probably had a bad start again. We had a good middle part to it. Our graph rose. We had a little bit of blip at the end. Okay, in the last day we were thereabouts, where it was common. But down to the last thing, it was a mathematical scenario at that stage, and it didn't work out for us at the end anyway.
Was it a distraction, although successful, the under-21s, but not having them during the league campaign?
Well, I wouldn't use a distraction as the proper word. It was a disadvantage, of course, because there are some very good players and we would have liked to have them. But you know what I mean, in fairness, there was a strategy put in place 3 years ago or 4 years or at this stage now that the under-21s would stay with their own grade. And you know what I mean, I was part of that strategy, so it would be wrong for me to come out now and say that it should have been done any bit different.
But it was the right thing to do given the success that they've had.
Correct, it was the right thing, and that's where we have to be with Cavan football. This is a long-term experiment, and we have to temper our expectations in the beginning, and we have to build to the future.
They're back in now. How are they gelling? Very,
very good. Well, in fairness, I mean, the 3 or 4 of them played in the championship last year, so it's not as if they're coming back in. There was quite a bit of not known. They come back in. We did a bit of an away training night, and the lads bonded in very well.
Now, you had a challenge match recently against Speed where you practically used 2 teams, so you have huge talent in abundance.
We have, and in fairness, a very competitive squad, and the squad has worked very hard. And you know, I mean, where other years we might have had more challenge matches, we have had less because our players within the group have worked and been so competitive in-house training. We felt that was the road to go down.
Armagh will present a huge challenge. They are a team who know how to win championships. They've had success, cross-Midland players on board. It's a difficult assignment for you.
Well, of course it is, you know what I mean, but you know what I mean, we feel in the end of the day it's a 50-50 game. Anytime we go out, if we are fit to perform to the levels what we did against Monaghan and meet in the National League, we'll be thereabouts.
Are you happy with the commitment that you're getting from the players? Because there seems to be a great urgency about them this year.
Yes, we couldn't fault any of the players. Have been 100%, and I know people would use that as a cliche and they say that every year, but I would have to say we would have players come to us looking for information as to when we train again, what was my training performance like, what can I work on, that type of scenario, and we find that totally different and refreshing from other years.
That's obviously because they like what's happening and they can see perhaps a light possibly at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I suppose that's it, to see their graph probably rising, you know what I mean, from probably struggling in the National League maybe for 2 or 3 years in a row to, as you said, almost getting to the high end of promotion and then get there, you know, with a reasonably good run of the McKenna Cup, and as always then we got in the championship after a hard working race for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
You come into management with a plan in place, long-term plan. It seems to be progressing nicely for you.
Well, it is in that, you know what I mean, it is a long-term plan, and that's what we have to look to. And you know what I mean, and some of the people that we put the plan in place with, as I did say at the time, it may not be part of the plan, but the success does come from Cavan. Hopefully we are, but we do reckon that Cavan will be very successful in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years down the road, and that is the long-term plan.
And I think people are beginning to realise now that just because you're successful at underage doesn't mean that you get a handful or a hatful of players that are good enough to play senior football.
Well, no, because it's a totally different thing. As I said, when you're a 21-year-old playing against a 20-year-old, you're at equal. When you bring a 21-year-old into play with a 29-year-old, you're at unequal in the physical stakes and the amount of experience you've gained. And some players will, only 1% or 2% will just pop in and compete right away, but the others will learn to compete.
A point will do. You want to be in the next round of the championship.
That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
I wish you will.
Thank you.
Terry, the big day has arrived.
Thank you very much to Owen McConnon for that coverage at Breffni Park. And we here in Cavan TV wish Cavan senior football team and the minor team the very best of luck this weekend in the championship. So I am now joined by Johnny Hancock, who is here to talk to us all about the Castle Run 2013, which has taken place in Castle Saunderson Estate, just outside Belturbet, as you might well know. It's the new Scout Centre. And Johnny, thank you very much for coming to speak to us here on All About Sport. So, you know, tell us a little bit about this Castle Run. Obviously, you're very involved with Scouts, you know, and tell us how you secured to have such wonderful facilities and such great grounds for the new Scouts Den.
Well, Castle Sanderson was purchased in 1995. from the Sanderson family, excuse me, at a cost of £375,000. And Scouting at the time couldn't afford it, so we were looking for funding, etc., etc. Couldn't afford it, servicing the debt. And it came to a head back 4 years ago when the decision was made to sell the 107 acres that the Scouts owned.
Right.
There was a campaign launched here in Cavan between the Scouts in Bilturbet and the Scouts in Cavan Town. We took on the hierarchy of Scouting Ireland, and we reversed the decision, and between a working group here in Cavan and with Cavan County Council and National Scouting Headquarters, we secured the Scout Centre at the rear of the castle. We now have over 30 acres at the rear of the castle.
That wonderful. That was what great facilities and with great grounds to have it on. Obviously, it's beautiful around Castle Saunderson, and just ideal for Scouts. You know, the Scouts to have, I suppose, to have their club and to have it situated. So, is this just the Castle Saunderson club? Is that just for the Bilturbet, or is that all of Cavan, or how does it work? It's
the 5th international Scout Centre in the whole world.
Oh right, okay, so it's an international Scout
Centre. It's an international Scout Centre. There was over 3 million in funding from Piece 3.
Yeah.
And Cavan County Council did all the work, the roads, electricity, sewerage, water, etc., etc., etc. And we now have the lodge up there, which can cater for over 40 people in bedrooms.
Okay, so
we will have campable ground, hopefully by the end of the summer, for up to 1,500 young people.
Yeah, and I believe it opened last year. You had Michael D. Higgins down, and I think Cavan TV had some coverage on that. Yeah,
that's right. That was a great day to see all the hard work and going from a blueprint to an international Scout Centre, and for the President to come up and open it for us was absolutely a fantastic day for us.
Yeah. So it's a very historic state, and it's a beautiful scenic area. So
absolutely,
you're delighted with the.
Well, we're surrounded by water. The site is surrounded by water on 3 sides. We have the river, and we have the 2 lakes. We're surrounded then by forestry, and we've got great support from Quilcha as well, because the ethos of the Scouts is to leave no trace and to to be active and to be healthy young people. So it fits all the. Ticks all the boxes.
And I believe it does like border Cavan, Fermanagh and Monaghan all meet on the estate.
That's correct, yeah, because it's just 2 miles from where I live. I'm living in Butler's Bridge, and it's right on the border with Fermanagh, and if you continue out the road you're into Clonus, so literally the meeting of the 3 counties, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your involvement with I suppose Scouts Ireland, and how much time you put into working with the Scouts.
Well, I was a Scout as a young fella. Obviously, from my accent, I'm not a Cavan.
Yeah, not a Butler's Bridge man.
No,
you're from Dublin. You were telling me.
I'm originally from Dublin. I was a Scout as a young lad, a Cub and a Scout. I moved to Cavan 25 years ago, and in 1991, this month, 22 years ago this month, a friend of mine knew I'd been a Scout and asked me would I be interested in becoming a leader, and I'm still a leader.
Excellent.
So, I've served in all the sections: Beavers, Cubs, Scouts, Ventures, on the county team, and I'm actually on the national training team as well.
Right.
So there's
something you're very passionate about.
Well, there's a standing joke in Scouting that it's only an hour a week. But the reality of it is that there's only 1 hour left in the week after scouting. So
you're basically married to the Scouts.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Johnny, after the break we'll talk some more, and we're really excited about this castle run that's taking place. So when we come back after break, you'll be letting us know a little bit more about that. So we're going to take a short break, but stay tuned. But when we come back, we'll speak to Johnny Hancock, who'll be telling us more about the Castle Run 2013. So stay tuned.